In the Appalachian Mountains, the woods come with rules. Rules your grandparents don't explain. They just expect you to follow. Don't whistle. Don't answer your name. And if you see someone you know standing in the trees, no, you didn't. Tonight's first story is about the summer a boy in rural Kentucky found out why these rules exist. He was 11 when he moved to Kentucky with his dad. They stayed with his granny in what locals call a holler, a narrow bowl carved into the hills. Family lived up and down both sides of the road, but directly across from their house, nothing. Just woods. Thick, dark, untouched woods. His granny had rules, strict ones. Never mess with wild animals. Never go into the woods alone. Never whistle, especially after dark. If you hear your name called from the tree line, you ignore it. You do not go toward it. And if you see someone in the woods you think you know, no, you didn't. You turn around and you get home. At 11, he thought it was just backwoods paranoia, hillbilly stranger danger. He had no idea how wrong he was. That August, he and his dad had a little campsite about a quarter mile from the house. They'd mowed a path through the tall grass and the blackberry briars to get there. Close enough to check in on Granny, far enough to feel like they were on an adventure. They camped there all the time. It was their spot, safe, familiar, and comfortable. Until one night, it wasn't. They were by the fire when his dad decided to head back to the house. Said he needed more beer and he wanted to check on Granny. He told his son, "Don't you mess with the fire. I'll be back in a bit." The boy watched his dad's flashlight bop up the path, and then he was alone. That's when the woods went wrong. It wasn't just quiet. It was emptied. No crickets, no frogs, no wind in the leaves. Even the little stream that usually roared beside the road sounded like it had been moved miles away. The world felt hollow, like something was holding its breath. Then he tasted it, that sharp, awful, metallic tang in the back of his throat, like burnt metal or like blood on a hot penny. It came out of nowhere. His stomach rolled. A few minutes later, his dad came back down the path, visibly irritated. He said he could smell metal burning halfway here and wanted to know what his kid had thrown in the fire. Beer cans, aluminum foil? But the boy hadn't touched the fire. He pointed to the flames. No trash, no cans, no aluminum foil, nothing but wood and coals. His dad frowned. He was unsettled in a way he didn't want to show the boy. His dad said, "There's a storm coming in. We better head back to the house." They left the tent and started down the path toward the holler. He picked up a slice of watermelon to eat on the walk. Just another summer night in Kentucky, until the sky lit up. In woods this dense, lightning does something unnatural. It turns the world into noonday brightness in a heartbeat. Every branch and every leaf lit up. Then it hits in the front row of trees. And anything beyond that, pure, absolute blackness. He was mid-step when the first bolt cracked. For a split second, he saw the yard, the road, the stream, and a dark shape at the far edge of the first line of trees. A silhouette, tall and wrong. Then darkness slammed back down. He blinked, his heart racing. He told himself he imagined it. They walked a few more steps. Another lightning flash. This time, the shadow wasn't across the yard. It was at the first line of trees, closer and clearer. Its head was too big, its body too long. But the details were gone long before his brain could catch up. Darkness again. Thunder rumbling so hard he felt it in his ribs. Then the third strike came. Lightning blew the world open, and now the figure was standing in the middle of the road, just there, between them and the house. He's tried for over 20 years to describe what he saw in that flash, but the words always fall short. Its head wasn't the right size for its body. Its arms hung too long, bending at angles that looked almost tentative. The torso was just off, like somebody tried to sketch a human from memory, having only ever heard what a human looked like, never having seen one, like a blind imitation. It was wrong in a way your brain doesn't want to process, like it hurt just to look at it. As soon as the dark slammed back in, he didn't wait, didn't watch it move, didn't see if it stepped closer. He just ran. He sprinted for that porch, burst into the house, heart pounding in his ears. His granny was at the sink, arms in soapy water. He told her breathlessly, "I think I saw something, Granny." She didn't ask what. Didn't tell him he was imagining things, didn't laugh. Instead, she dropped a dish, wiped her hands on her apron, and said to his dad in a voice that left no room for argument, "Shut and lock every window and every door now." His dad, drunk enough to argue on most nights, didn't say a word. He just obeyed. That night, the boy slept on the floor next to his granny's bed. Granny never asked him what he saw, and he never asked why she believed him without hearing it. The next day, morning came like nothing had happened. Sunlight in the holler, birds back in the trees, but when they walked out to the campsite, the tent door was ripped away. Not slashed, not chewed, not clawed, just ripped away, ripped off in one strong, brutal motion, like somebody grabbed it with both hands and pulled. Up further in the holler, his uncle found all 8 of his chickens dead. Their heads were missing, not a drop of blood anywhere. For the next 3 weeks, every kid in the holler had to wait for the school bus with an adult. His dad was late for work every single morning, standing guard at the bus stop. Anytime he tried to bring up what he'd seen, the grown-ups changed the subject, shut it down, walked out of the room. As a kid, he figured they just didn't believe him. Years later, he realized the truth. He was in his 20s at a Halloween party, telling his cousins the story like a campfire tale. Halfway through his story, his aunt snapped. Her face went hard. She pointed at him and said, "Don't you tell them that! Don't you put evil on them!" The room went quiet. That's when it clicked. All those years of being cut off, talked over, shushed. They weren't doubting him. They were trying to keep the story and the thing in it away from him. Because there is a name for what he saw that night. A name his aunt used once when she thought he wasn't listening. The same name people all across Appalachia whisper when they talk about tall, wrong things standing to the edge of the trees. The Goat Man. Ellie told y'all our family's rules, but she didn't tell you where they came from. I learned them the hard way, in a place they call the Bennington Triangle. Some folks call it the Zone of Death. I just call it the place that took my friends. I was 16 that summer. Thought I knew the woods better than anybody. My friends Pauline and Donetta were with me. They knew the trails, but not the truths that walked beside them, not the rules. I was so sure my knowledge would protect us. I was wrong. That morning, I packed what my grandma told me to bring: a compass, a map, food for a week, a tent, water, clothes, and a warm sleeping bag. But more important were the things that Pauline laughed at: a pouch of salt to circle our camp with, ash to keep away the barefooted ones that stalked the trees after sunset, a red string tied around my waist to confuse the triangle's pull, iron filings to weigh down the soul where the veil wears thin. Donetta agreed to carry a pouch just like mine. I tied a red string round her waist too. But Pauline, she just rolled her eyes. She said it was woo-woo crap. That arrogance cost her. Our hike that day started out peaceful. Birds singing, wind playing in the leaves, sunlight dancing along the path like it was leading us on. Then it changed. The light dimmed. No clouds in the sky, but the woods got darker somehow. A cold mist bled across the trail ahead of us. And then the sound just died. No birds, no wind, no insects, no nothing. My stomach dropped. Rule number 1. If the birds stop singing, close your eyes and count backward from 13. Do not open them again until you hear a chickadee. We had stepped into a thin place, a fault line in the skin of the world. I hissed, "Close your eyes now. Don't open them till I say." Donetta's eyes widened, confused but trusting. She obeyed. Pauline, she just laughed. "Seriously? Another one of your creepy old rules?" I closed my eyes anyway, started counting. 13, 12, 11. A shiver came right down my spine. Something was there, moving, heavy, slow, wrong. The air around me, it bent, like the space was making room for it. 10, 9, 8. The footsteps got closer. Bare feet, wet. Not behind me, not beside me. Right where Pauline had been standing. 7, 6. She gasped, a sharp, strangled sound. Not fear, surprise. Then she screamed, short, cut off like somebody grabbed the sound out of her throat. 3, 2, 1. Just as I hit 1, the buds came back, all at once, like somebody pressed play on a recording. I opened my eyes. Donetta was crouched on the trail, clutching the red string at her waist like it was the only thing keeping her here. But Pauline was gone. No tracks, no broken branches, no sign of a struggle. Just a very faint disturbance in the mist, like something impossibly large had brushed through and taken her with it. "Where is she?" Donetta shouted, looking all around. "I think she was taken," I heard myself say. "Pauline!" Donetta bolted off the trail into the brush. "Don't leave the trail!" I yelled. But it was too late. Panic flared in my chest. I chased after her. The mist thickened around us, unnatural and heavy. The world turned into a blur of ghost gray fog and shadowy trees. Roots grabbed at my ankles, branches clawed at my arms. Everything smelled damp and old, like soil that hadn't been disturbed in centuries. By the time we stumbled to a stop, the sun was bleeding out behind the trees. The trail was gone. "We're not finding her in the dark," I said, forcing my voice to sound steady. "We'll camp here. First light, we try to find the trail and get help." Donetta nodded, eyes hollow, shock settling in. She didn't argue with me. We pitched our tent in complete silence. I laid a heavy ring of salt around our camp, whispering the old words my grandma taught me. Not prayers, more like warnings, barriers, a fence made of stories and belief. Donetta wandered off to relieve herself. I waited, glancing at the darkening trees. Every shape seemed to breathe, to shift, and to watch. That's when I heard the whistle. Sharp, piercing, and not far off. "Hey, Geraldine, where are you? I can't see you." Donetta's voice rang out, sounding panicked. "Follow my voice," I called, stepping just outside the salt ring without thinking. I cupped my hands, let out a sharp whistle back to her. The sound hadn't even finished leaving my lips when my blood ran cold. From the trees to my left came a low, guttural growl, deep enough that I felt it vibrate in my bones. Just then, the forest went still. Even the fire seemed to lean in the opposite direction. Rule number 2, never whistle after dark. It summons it. Just then, Donetta stumbled out of the dark, crashing into me, breathless. "Thank God," she gasped. "Quiet," I whispered. "Inside the circle, now." We scrambled back over the salt. It was too late. The growl, it grew louder, closer, and heavier. Then I saw them, two red eyes hovering above the forest floor, higher than any normal animal's eyes should be. Them eyes blinked once, then they moved toward us. Twigs popped, branches snapped under its weight. Whatever it was, it knew exactly where we were. It stepped into the edge of the firelight. At first, it looked like a dog, but it was wrong. Too tall, too long in the body, black, matted fur, jaws full of uneven, jagged teeth. It moved with the patience of something that knew we had nowhere left to run. "The Hound of Glastonbury," I whispered. Grandma had told stories of it. The guardian of the triangle, the enforcer of the rules, and we had broken one. My hands were shaking as I dug through my pack, trying to remember every scrap of folklore I'd ever heard. Rules tied to the hound. If you call it, you pay it. The only thing that I had that might count as payment was jerky. I flung a piece past the salt ring. It snatched it up with unnatural speed, fangs flashing in the firelight. But it didn't retreat. Instead, that hound kept circling, pacing us beyond the salt, watching, testing. Its growls deepened, the sound curling like a voice trying to form words in a throat that was not made to speak words. We stayed awake all night, backs pressed against each other, eyes burning, fire never allowed to die, salt circle unbroken. Them eyes did not leave until dawn. We waited until the sun was high enough in the sky to burn away the fog. Even then, our hands were trembling as we smothered out the fire. Every rustle in the woods made us jump. Every twig snap sent a pulse of panic right through us. The whole way out, we didn't speak. We just moved. Quick, focused. My compass spun more than just once. The needle was a twitching like it didn't know where north went anymore. But eventually, the trail appeared ahead of us, like it had been hiding from us. We didn't cry with relief, didn't shout for help. We just walked faster because we knew better. Voices in the triangle don't always come from the things that you think they come from. It was mid-afternoon when we heard it. A whisper, soft and deliberate, sliding between the trees like smoke. "Donetta! Geraldine!" We froze. It sounded exactly like her. "Pauline!" Donetta called. "Pauline, is that you?" "Donetta!" The voice came again, closer now, from right behind us. From the corner of my eye, I saw it. Tall. Impossibly tall. Limbs bent like branches. Antlers like rotting wood shooting out from its head. Its face was a void, blacker than shadow, hungrier than silence. It was not Pauline. It was the Watcher. Rule number 3. Don't look up when the wind whispers your name from behind a tree or in the mist. He is watching. At that moment, I grabbed Donetta's arm and I screamed, "Run!" We bolted down that trail, breath ragged, feet slamming that dirt. Behind us, twigs snapped in perfect time with our steps. Bushes rustled as if something kept pace, never quite showing itself. "Donetta!" The third whisper came right behind us. I turned just for a second. Donetta was gone. There had been no scream, no scramble, no flailing hands. She was just gone. Only the trail ahead of me and the wind in the trees remained. I didn't stop, didn't call her name, didn't look back. I knew what came next. Grandma's last resort rule. If it's chosen you but hasn't reached you yet, burn what's marked your path. Confuse it. Hide from it. I burned my boots and left them at a fork in the trail. A decoy scent. I ran until my legs gave completely out, crawled under a tangle of roots, smeared myself with wet, cold mud to mask my skin, my sweat. It watched me. I could feel it. I didn't look, not once. Forest rangers found me 3 days later, barefoot, bruised, and wild-eyed. The rangers said that I had just gotten lost and delirious from dehydration and from exposure. Then they launched a search for Pauline and Donetta. They brought in dogs, volunteers, tracking teams. They never found them. And even if they did, it wouldn't be them anymore. Because in the triangle, the forest doesn't just take people, it replaces them. I still live near these woods. Foolish, maybe, but this land, it's been in my family for generations. I know its rules. I follow them, every single one of them. Sometimes, though, at night, I hear them. Geraldine. Their voices are perfect, exactly like they sounded when we were 16 years old. But I never answer. I never step off the porch. I never go into the trees. Because I know it's not them. Not anymore. And if I answer, it might remember that I'm still here. The Great Smoky Mountains are beautiful, but beauty is not the only thing that lives up here. Many people worry about bears. Some worry about getting lost. But if you're really unlucky, it's not what you see in the trees that'll get you. It's what you see on the ground. He had rented a cabin on a high ridge up in the Smokies, secluded, quiet. No neighbors close enough to hear him scream. It got boring real fast. So he started hiking every day, deep into the woods. He had spotted elk, and he hoped to see a bear. He was not prepared for what he actually found. About 12 minutes into one hike, he heard rustling in the leaves behind him. He stopped, turned around, waiting, hoping he'd catch sight of a bear moving through the underbrush. Nothing. No animal, no movement. Just a few dead leaves settling. He shrugged, chalked it up to the wind, kept going. Another 10 minutes passed. Then he heard footsteps behind him. Not heavy enough for a person, not soft enough for a deer, not the 4-beat pattern of an elk, just wrong. He turned again. The trail behind him was completely empty. Just trees and brush. No one was there. He told himself it had to be a woodpecker, some echo, some harmless noise. But he started paying more attention. He was in a clearer part of the forest now. Fewer trees, sunlight breaking through in wide patches. That's when he saw it. At his feet, just behind him, a shadow. Not his shadow, not the shadow of a tree, not some simple shape cast by a branch. This shadow was concentrated, darker than it should have been, like a stain of pure black on the forest floor. Not a defined shape, just a large, disfigured blot of darkness. He spun around, expecting to see something standing there. Nothing. He looked down. The shadow was still there. He wasn't standing in it. It wasn't attached to him. It just was. He walked away quickly, heart rate ticking up. After a few yards, he glanced back. The shadow was gone, completely vanished, as if someone lifted it off the ground. He tried to shake it off, told himself he was just tired, that he was seeing things. Then he noticed poison ivy on the trail and started watching the ground more carefully to avoid stepping in it. That's when it came back. The same shadow, same unnatural darkness. Only this time, it appeared several yards behind him, right in the middle of the path he'd just walked. Appeared. It didn't slide in, didn't grow from a corner. It was just suddenly there. He stopped, stared. His skin crawled. He started walking faster. The shadow vanished again. For a moment, he let himself breathe. Then he saw it, appearing again, this time off to his right. It advanced several feet in a heartbeat, like a dark spill that somehow moved. He was surrounded by normal shadows, branches, tree trunks, leaves, but only this one moved. He stopped. The shadow stopped. He took a small step forward. The shadow slid the same distance toward him. He stepped backward. It followed. Before you go thinking it was his own shadow, the sun was high in the sky, and this thing was not attached to him at all. It could appear far away from him, off at an angle where his shadow couldn't possibly fall. This shadow chose where it wanted to be. He swallowed hard, took a step toward it just to see. The shadow didn't vanish this time. It moved toward him. He kept going until it was only a few feet away. A big, warped blot of midnight on the ground in a patch of direct sunlight. He just stared at it. It just sat there and stared back. The forest around him felt like it was holding its breath. Then something hit him. With zero warning, he was flung backward. His feet literally left the ground. His back slammed into a tree hard enough to knock the air out of him. Pain exploded down his spine. Before he could stand, he felt blows, like fists slamming into him hard, over and over, but there was nothing there. Then came the claws. He felt sharp, burning lines scratch across his arms, his chest, his shoulders. He threw his hands up to protect his face and felt the sting of something slicing across his skin. He couldn't see a thing touching him, but the pain was real. He was being attacked by something invisible, something anchored to that shadow. Then, out of nowhere, a raccoon waddled out of the brush near the path. It turned its head toward him, then toward the ground where the shadow sat. Every single hair on its body was puffed out. It froze. Head dropped low. Body flattened to the earth in submission. Not to him, to it, the shadow. And in that moment, whatever was attacking him stopped. The blows ceased. The claws withdrew. The shadow shot off into the trees like an ink stain being yanked away. The raccoon bolted in the opposite direction, running like its life depended on it, because it probably did. He staggered to his feet, arms burning, body aching. Blood trickled down both forearms from long, angry scratches. He didn't look back, didn't stop, didn't try to understand. He just ran. Branches cut his face, his lungs burned, his legs shook. But he didn't slow down until his cabin came into view. He slammed the door, locked every window, checked each window twice. Then he headed straight for the shower, hands shaking as he turned the water on. Hot water ran red as it washed over his scratched arms. He watched the diluted blood spiral down the drain. He stayed there, until the water started to cool, trying to calm down, trying to convince himself there had to be some logical explanation. When he finally stepped out of the shower, he grabbed a towel, wiped steam from the mirror, and froze. The scratches were all gone. Skin that should have been raw and raised was smooth. No scabs, no cuts, no bruises, nothing. Like it had never happened. But he remembered the impact, the pain, the terror on that poor raccoon's face. Something had hit him. Something had clawed him. And whatever it was, it left no mark that the world could see. He didn't call the police. What would he say? I was attacked by a shadow? There were no wounds to show, no proof, no evidence. Just him, alone in a cabin on a mountain, with the feeling that something was out there. Now it knew exactly where he was. He never went hiking again on that trip. He didn't even walk far from the cabin. And if you ever come up to the Great Smokies near Pigeon Forge, if you ever decide to take a nice, peaceful, solo hike, pay real close attention to your shadow. Make sure that it moves when you move, stops when you stop, and stays where physics says it should stay. Because out here in the mountains, there might be another one, and it's not yours,